Active exploitation of a major enterprise platform. A ransomware incident reportedly run end-to-end by an AI agent, stealthy OAuth abuse against corporate Gmail, and critical IoT takeovers without a password. Here's what matters and how to respond. Welcome to today's cybersecurity briefing. Across the industry, patching remains brisk as multiple vendors push fixes for newly disclosed vulnerabilities. At the same time, AI security and policy are reshaping governance and compliance, with fresh attention on model-driven attack surfaces. Within that context, 4 operational updates deserve focus now. First, active exploitation has hit a Microsoft SharePoint remote code execution flaw that was patched in May. The headline context is straightforward. The government's cyber agency warned this week that attackers are now leveraging the high-severity bug in the wild. The key facts are that the vulnerability enables remote code execution on affected SharePoint servers, and that exploitation has moved from theoretical to active. This matters because active exploitation compresses defenders' timelines and raises the likelihood of immediate business impact, especially for organizations that defer patching or run internet-exposed collaboration servers. The Defender takeaway: verify that May security updates for SharePoint are fully applied across all instances, including any test or recovery environments. Restrict external exposure where possible. Validate that only necessary endpoints are reachable, and review recent SharePoint and Windows event logs for suspicious service account activity, web process spawns, or unusual uploads to web-accessible directories. If patching cannot be completed immediately, consider interim compensating controls, such as tight access controls and heightened monitoring. Second, a security research team reports what it believes is the first ransomware attack operated from start to finish by an AI agent, exploiting a Langflow remote code execution path. In this case, the actor, tracked as JADEPUFFER, allegedly used a large language model to automate the full chain: initial break-in, credential theft, deeper movement inside the network, and finally encrypting and wiping a company's production database. The key facts are the end-to-end automation via an AI agent and the use of an RCE entry point to reach a business-critical data store. This matters because it signals a meaningful shift in attacker tradecraft. Tool chains that can reason over environments and autonomously chain steps, reduce dwell time, and scale operations, potentially changing Defender priorities for exposure management and monitoring. The Defender takeaway: patch or harden Langflow and any AI orchestration frameworks exposed to untrusted input. Enforce strong authentication on admin consoles, and watch for high-velocity or scripted credential harvesting and database access patterns. Implement least privilege controls for databases, maintain tested offline backups, and tune detections for rapid, multi-stage attacks that progress without the usual human operator pauses. Third, a cluster linked to the group known as ToddyCat is attributed to new malware, Umbrij, that abuses OAuth to access Gmail via the Google API. The headline context is targeted access to corporate email hosted on Gmail through API-based methods. The key facts are that the campaign focuses on compromising access via OAuth and then using Google's API to read correspondence without relying on traditional password-based logins. This matters because API and token abuse can provide persistent, low-noise access that sidesteps many legacy detection points centered on interactive sign-ins, and it highlights the growing importance of safeguarding identity and authorization flows, not just credentials. The Defender takeaway: audit and prune third-party app consents and OAuth tokens in your Google Workspace, enforce granular scopes and admin approval for high-risk apps, and monitor audit logs for unusual API calls, new application grants, or token usage from atypical locations. Educate users and admins on consent phishing, enable multi-factor authentication everywhere, and establish rapid processes to revoke tokens and rotate credentials after suspected compromise. Finally, critical vulnerabilities in the Gardyn IoT Hub could allow unauthenticated users to access and control managed devices. Affected components include home firmware, studio firmware, and the Cloud API below version 2.12/2026, with multiple CVEs listed and a maximum severity of CVSS v310. The weaknesses include use of hard-coded credentials, exposure of sensitive system information to an unauthorized control sphere, and improper neutralization of input. This matters because unauthenticated device control creates immediate physical and operational risk, and internet-exposed or cloud-managed IoT fleets can be targeted at scale. The Defender takeaway: Update the Gardyn IoT Hub components to fixed versions as soon as they are available. Remove any default or hard-coded credentials where possible, and place these devices behind network segmentation with minimal inbound exposure. Monitor for unexpected device commands or configuration changes, and ensure that cloud API access is restricted and logged. In closing, today's theme is compression of Defender timelines. Active exploitation, AI-driven automation, API-level identity abuse, and zero-auth IoT control all reduce the margin for delay. Verify patch coverage, review exposed services, harden identity and API flows, and rehearse rapid containment. If this briefing helped you prioritize actions, subscribe for daily, calm, and actionable updates, and share with your team so everyone stays aligned on what to fix next.